Happy birthday to one of my longtime best friends, Doug Chapman. 70 years old? No kidding. I'm guessing that Doug and I became friends when we were around 18 years old. That's 52 years. It's a long time. We met at Rosary High School, where Doug was kind of the big man on campus. Um, Class president, a football guy, and also kind of the best dressed guy around. You see, I recall that Doug worked at Wolf Brothers, a men's clothing store, and he took advantage of whatever discounts he had. He was always dressed to the hilt and always looked good in it too. Um, we we uh, we rode together to school at UMSL in Doug's shiny new Chevy Nova, shiny new blue Chevy Nova. I always look forward to the ride to and from school, except for when we decided to let Piggy Flanagan ride with us. I used to love the song "Hey Jude," but now I changed channels after hearing her sing it every day to and from the trip to UMSL. We played pinochle every day at UMSL. We'd sit in the cafeteria and play pinochle for hours. Um, it was a good time. We met a lot of neat people, but I think I played more than Doug did because I have I have the proud experience of being able to say that I played pinochle during my logic and language final exam, which of course I flunked. Um, when we were both single, we would go down to University of Missouri Columbia for football weekends. We rarely had dates. We probably never had dates, if the truth were known. But we fixed that by going over to Stevens College for girls, and like at 6 o'clock at night, and asking them at the dorm, did any of the girls want a date? And I guess we're kind of expecting to meet some good-looking girls, but when you think about it, 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, the pickings are a little slim. Um, in fact, we'd go to the dorm and we'd say, "Hey, does somebody want a date?" And we'd hear that being echoed through the hallways. "Hey, somebody want a date?" I mean, the sound of the voices were frightening. I think it was there that we met Scarface and Showcase, and there was a third, I can't think of her name, but it might have been Shitface. I might be exaggerating that a little. Thanks to Doug's dad, Chappie, who I just adored. What a great guy. Who was a major in the National Guard. We got into the Guard, which saved some of us, at least, from having to go to Vietnam. Um, there were so many stories to tell, but I have a couple that I'd like to share with you. First, when we went through basic training, there was an exercise that everybody had to go through where you got on your back and crawled under barbed wire while machine guns fired live ammunition over your head. At least they told us it was. In fact, I think it was. And it was sort of a frightening experience. And this particular night that we did it, and Doug and I went through basic training and all that together, it was a rainy night and it was a mud puddle. And so all of us, flopped on our back, crawled under this barbed wire. And I, for one, looked like the Blob when I got out. I was mud from head to toe. Most of us were that way, by the way, but not Doug. Because Doug got out and we all said he looked like he just stepped off the front page of Vogue magazine. He was incapable of looking disheveled. Another story was we were at summer camp at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. You kind of have to understand what Fort Sill is like. It's flat as a pancake, and a lot of the area is like 3 foot, 4 foot high elephant grass. And Doug and I were out in a Jeep, way out in the boonies, nobody around. And Doug was driving the Jeep. So he was the driver, I was the passenger. We're out there, we're wearing our military helmets, and Doug says, "Hey, uh, let's just pull the throttle on this thing and let it go." He might have had some encouragement from me on that too. So the two of us kind of lean back like this with our helmets on, and he pulls the throttle, and the Jeep starts to drive itself through this flat elephant grass, which you couldn't see anything through. It's just tall grass. Anyway, we found a surprise. There was a ditch, and we went down in it. And Doug's helmet hit the windshield and proceeded to smash the windshield. So we recovered and got the Jeep back to camp, and he took it to the motor pool, and the motor pool had it for that day, afternoon or day. The next day, they brought it back and had a brand new windshield. And Doug is all excited about it, and he's just playing around. He picks up about a baseball-sized rock, and he goes, "Oh, look at the new windshield!" And he's kind of doing this, pretending like he's going to hit it, and he accidentally does and breaks the windshield again. I didn't stick around to find out what he said to the motor pool guys, but he holds the record for breaking 2 windshields in 2 consecutive days. Anyway, I knew Marilyn before she and Doug started dating. What a cutie. I mean, I feel like I was crazy not to pounce on her when the opportunity exists, but Doug beat me to it. And finally, he came to his senses, and I was thrilled when I knew that they were a couple. One thing led to another, and they finally announced that they were getting married. I was really happy for him. And what I can only explain as a lapse of judgment on his part, however, he asked me to be his best man, which I agreed to do. I clearly remember being fitted for my tux. When the tux guy said to me, "So what size shoes do you need?" And I must have asked him, "Well, how much are they?" I don't think I had a lot of money back then. And he told me, and I said, "No thanks. I got this pair of brown shoes at home that will match this tux exactly." And so thus I became the guy with the brown shoes at the wedding. And Marilyn was kind enough to send me a copy of that picture, so I'm going to post it up here for your enjoyment as soon as I finish this. I have said this about several of my friends, but nowhere does it mean more to me than it does in the case of Doug and the Chapman family. I felt like I was part of the family. They were always so nice. I mean, Chappie and Loretta came down to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and took us down to Nashville or Memphis or someplace like that for a weekend. And it was, they were just always warm and friendly. And I'd go over and drink Chappie's beer. And anyway, but all of the family, Chappie, Loretta, Dick, Joan, and even Matthew, all treated me like, I was some part of the family. I really love the whole Chapman family. Time passes and we all go our separate ways. But when I return to town, I always try to make sure that I see my friends Doug and Marilyn. And on this momentous occasion, I would like to send my love and best wishes to one of my all-time best friends. Happy 70th birthday, Doug. I just am so happy to be able to call you friend. And just remember one other thing. You'll always be older than me. Take care, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful birthday.